So what inspired this song? I feel like I'm already blushing. So you know when you are into someone and you probably shouldn't be, and so you just have to kind of use your imagination and not cross the boundaries that be. That is what's going on here. When I first wrote the song, I wrote it kind of sad because I was like frustrated and it wasn't like a good feeling. But then listening back, I was like, this is fun. This shouldn't be like dour. And so I had this idea of blending Baroque bright like strings with like marching band drums, which are really different but have the same sort of like playfulness. So that's kind of like the bedrock of the whole song is like those two vibes and this very like sprinkly, twinkly guitar part. What if we don't touch? What if we only talk about what we want and cannot have? And I'll throw a fit if it's all I can do. If it's the thought that counts, let's think it through. I guess in the first verse, it's sort of laying out the rules of the game. Like, we're not gonna touch, and so what's the closest that we can get? You know, how do we get a rise out of each other otherwise? So bite me on the shoulder, pull my hair, and let me touch you where I want to. There, 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 there. I guess if you're trying your best to be polite and not do too much, you're gonna get there in an explosive way. Giving commands that can't actually be followed through with, like pull my hair and bite me, things like that. Pull me by the ankles to the edge of the bed and take me like you do in your dreams. I'm not gonna stop you, I'm not gonna stop you this time, baby. Well, it's really explicit. It's kind of like this command to like show me that you mean it, like mean what you say. And then being like, I'm not gonna stop you this time is about how like time and time again you have to say no. Since it's sort of antithetical to the first part because it's saying like we're not going to touch, but then in the chorus it says like I'm not going to say no. So there's this ambiguous will we, won't we type message going on. I want you to show me what you mean, then help me with the crossword in the morning. You are gonna make me tea. Gonna ask me how did I sleep. The first half of the chorus is obviously very physical, and then the second half is like sweet. So you start on this footing that's like, whoa, like on the brink of too much, and then pull it back to what you would think is tame, but is actually like, I think, an even deeper intimacy, you know, like staying until the next morning and having these like quotidian points of connection and maybe like a daily routine. So it's not just about like wanting this one-time payoff. It's like maybe I even want like a life with you, or I want you in the quiet moments as well, which to me is like maybe even a little more painful than just wanting somebody like carnally. Agent of chaos, angel of death, one of three ancient fates, playing with your scissors again. The first couple lines of this is like all these figures that are chaotic and destructive, but also playful. Like the three ancient fates are like from Greek mythology, and they had these scissors that they would use to cut the threads of people's lives, and they kind of decided like when people would die. The idea of one of the fates kind of like being like, and then, you know, the scissor imagery is kind of tongue-in-cheek. Just setting up this other person as like this force that could break your life, but in kind of I'm not touching you type way. How lucky are we to have so much to lose? Now don't move when I tell you what to do. How lucky are we to have so much to lose? That is one of my favorite lyrics in the song. The reason that you're being careful is because you care about things. And so you don't want to just carelessly burn through whatever this energy is. And that's why you have these restrictions in the first place, is that you want to move in a way that is respectful and right and doesn't like make your world come crashing down. At least for me, when I have like really big feelings, I fear them a little bit because I'm like, this is gonna ruin everything. But yeah, and then the snap back to like, now don't move when I tell you what to do is like back to the initial rules of the game. It's a little bit dommy in a way. And I think needed to get back there before the next chorus. That's such a sweet sentiment, like, oh, we're so lucky. And then you have to get back to like, okay, but we were up to something. I love the music video. Shout out Havana Rose Lou for coming in and being the security guard. It was just like a dream to go around Paris in like this cupcake of a dress. And there was this cute little girl that like walked by, because a lot of the people in the video are actually people that were just on the street. And this little girl said in French, "You look like my dolls," which is so cute.